Yeah, we are laying up to stuff. Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Backdraft and welcome to episode 12 of my Minecraft survival series. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you haven't noticed already, we are flying high above the starter area. And there is a lot of progress made on the mega base. It is looking super sweet. So let me take you through a little bit of what we done. So the exterior of the mega base is now pretty much completely done. We did most of the construction that you see on a live stream. So we finished up the top part of the base and the surroundings of the outside of the exterior. We had to drop this down a little bit so that we can make room for the ceiling up here. We lined the tops of the pillars using snow blocks and concrete, and then added in the detail using the diorite along the edges, just like that. Some of this we did in the live stream, and some of it we weren't able to finish, so we finished up off camera. But we are now completely done with the exterior of the base and the roof for the most part. So the roof is just half slabs. I placed them not at the top of the blocks so that mobs don't spawn up here, and I've added in a bunch of glowstone that I was able to purchase from my awesome villager trading post. Whoops, wrong key. Yeah, so as you can see, we got the diorite in place. The only thing that's not per se-ish done is this back wall right here. And that's because I'm thinking I'm gonna add like an extension out the back here, which is gonna be like a wing, sort of, kind of. I don't really know how exactly that's going to work, but we are going to start doing the inside of the base. I don't have official plans for it yet. I think we're just going to throw in a floor of birchwood right now, just to kind of get it started, and then if we want to add any additional blocks for flooring inside of the base, then we will do that. But right now I think we're just going to put in a basic birchwood floor, because the plan for today's episode is to start building the very first room inside of the mega base, which is going to be right over here where Mr. Creeper has decided to set up shop. So the room over here is going to be a storage system, complete with full sort ability, if that's a word. So right here is where the storage system is going to go. This entire area is going to be filled in with storage and sorting, and if I did my math correctly, we will be able to store somewhere between 90 and 100 individual items. So this is going to require a lot of wood and a lot of hoppers and redstone. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that to start off this episode. So the idea is going to be, we're going to have chests lining all the way around in this U-shaped room right here, and we're going to have 2 floors. The whole inside of the mega base is going to have 2 floors. So we're going to have the bottom floor, and then we're going to have the top floor. So basically there's like 45 to 50 items on the bottom floor and 45 to 50 items on the top floor, and then we'll have some elevators to get back and forth between the 2 floors and the sorting systems. And then we can start feeding in the iron that we get from the iron farm and the slime that we get from the slime factory as well, and anything else that we get in mass we'll make chests for those. So the very first thing that we need to do is we need to throw in the floor on the inside of the base, and I think we're going to start this video off with a time lapse of us throwing that floor in. We are going to need quite a bit of birchwood, so we're going to get to chopping, and I hope you guys enjoy. hope you enjoyed that time lapse. The floor inside the mega base is now complete. Well, the basic floor at least. We're going to eventually be taking some of it out and decorating it up a little bit. But let me show you what I got going on over here. So this is where the item storage is going to go. So let me explain exactly what we got going on over here. So we have space for 26 items on the first level, 26 items on the second level, and then a third level and a fourth level. So this item storage will be able to store a total of 104 different types of items, and we're going to have 3 double chests per item, and I've already got the first one set up right here. So it's your basic item sorter. It's nothing too complicated. Essentially what we have is we have a hopper at the very top, which is going to have a stack of the item that you're trying to sort into the adjacent chests. And then to fill up the rest of the space, you just put an item that you either are not sorting or a named item that you name in an anvil. Right now I'm just using stone as an example. Then you have a comparator reading the signal from that hopper. 2 redstone dust, drop down another, and then a 3rd redstone dust, drop down and come back. A repeater leading into this block here, and on the other side of that block, a redstone torch. So essentially what's happening is this redstone torch is powering this block, which is disabling this hopper, meaning that the items from this hopper have nowhere to go, so they sit there. Once you get over 41 items in this stack, the signal from the comparator reaches the repeater, which will unpower the torch, which will enable this hopper and allow the items to flow down and into the chests beneath them. So if I had a piece of redstone, you can see I already have a few in here. If I have a piece of redstone, anything above 41, the signal seed, the repeater's on, the torch is off, and the redstone flows down and into the chest below. It's a pretty simple design. I didn't make it up. This has been around for quite a while. But essentially we're going to have 4 levels with all of the item sorters. So where the chests are here, I don't know why I did this backwards, but where the chests are here represent the different levels, and where the cobblestone is going to represent the chests. So we're going to have 4 levels. I'll be able to reach all the chests from the first 2 levels from this floor. Then I'll have to build the second floor where we'll be able to reach the next 2 levels of chests up there. So to get the items into the system, we're going to build an item elevator, essentially, where we're just going to chuck the items into. It's going to shoot them up to the very top. And then we're going to have rings of hoppers, which are going to go all the way around this way. It's going to go through each of the item sorters, and then it's going to drop down to the next level, go through all the item sorters there, drop down to the next level, and then to the final level. And we'll have an overflow somewhere, probably in the middle or something, just for items that, you know, we accidentally throw in or whatever. And then, of course, we'll have some chests that aren't part of the sorting so that we can just use those as regular storage. I don't know if we're going to have those in this area or what, but we will eventually have those. So this is going to require a lot of resources. I think the number one most time-consuming resource that I'm going to need is wood for the chests and the hoppers. So we're essentially going to need over 300 chests, which is pretty crazy. We're going to need over 400 hoppers, which essentially means we're going to need, if you count 1 chest per hopper, we're going to need about 700 chests. That is a lot of wood. That's, what is that? About 10, it's 11 stacks of chests. We're going to need, from that 11 stacks of chests, we'll be able to make all the hoppers that we need and all the chests. We're going to need over 100 comparators, over 100 repeaters. I'm not really worried about that too much. We are going to need to make a lot of stone to make those, but we have all the redstone we need. We've done quite a few mining sessions. I'm not too worried about that. And I think behind we're just going to have cobblestone because you're not really going to see that anyway. It's not a big deal. And right here is going to be, actually no, it might end up being right here is where the wall to the room is going to be, and then we'll figure something out to pretty this up and make the floor a little nicer. But anyway, it's 5 from the wall to where the chests are. This is where the redstone is going for the sorter, and that is about it. So there is a lot of resource collection that I'm gonna have to do to get this started, and we're gonna have to grind out quite a bit of wood.
Not much longer later, I have collected all the wood that I needed to get all the chests that I need for this build. It didn't take me that long. I just had to mine out half of a dark oak
forest. It was like half an hour or so. Needed quite a bit of wood, but I pretty much filled up this shulker box about halfway or 2/3 of the way full of chests, and I started laying down the chests for the first layer, and I realized something. First thing I realized is that my sounds are not on. So let me put that on. Sorry about that, guys. But the next thing that I realized is that I actually need a 2-block gap between each of the layers. And because of that, I am 2 blocks short from being able to fit in the entire system that I demonstrated before. So I think what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna drop this down because I have 2 blocks underneath. Well, I'll just drop it down 2 blocks underneath. So essentially the bottom level chest will be right there, then the next chest, and then the third chest right here. That will basically give me the 2 blocks extra that I need to fit in the entire build. So I'm gonna go ahead and place all of the chests. I'm gonna have to redo this sorter over here. It's not a big deal. It'll all be hidden, and I'll just kind of drop the floor down a couple blocks. No big deal. I think it'll actually look really good when it's done. But it's time to place in all of the chests. We are all set with the chests. The chests are all laid down. So quick progress update. I did set up my beacon here in the middle of the base as a side note, just because I needed to do a lot of mining out of here with the stone that there was to sink the floor down to make enough room for the storage system. So we have all, I think it's like it's 96 times 3. It's 288 chests are now, double chests are now in place. So whatever that times 2 is, I don't feel like doing the math in my head. Whatever that times 2 is exactly how many chests we have in place here. So I was doing some other math just to keep you guys in the loop of what exactly we're doing here. But since we have 288 chests and it's about 3,400 items per chest, we are able to store, if you count 64, it's about 3.4k, like I said, 64, you know, obviously each chest is gonna have stackable items. This can store up to 995,000 items. So it's almost 1 million items we can store in this storage system, and it is gonna be fully sortable, which is super awesome. So off camera, I got all the chests in place, of course. I did some more resource gathering for a bunch of wood I needed to make all these hoppers. So I now have all the hoppers that I need. So that is 6 stacks of hoppers to get everything into place. And on top of that, we have 96 comparators that we need, 96 redstone torches, 96 repeaters, and I have some of that ready to go already. I have all the redstone repeaters that we're going to need. I have all the torches that we're going to need to make all the comparators. I have all the nether quartz we need for that as well, and all the redstone. The last little bottleneck is we're waiting on the rest of the stone, which I think that this should be all done. This should be all the stone that we need to finish up on the comparators, and after that it's just gonna be laying all of that stuff down, and that should be that, honestly. And then another time-consuming part, I can't talk today. Another time-consuming part, obviously, after we lay everything down, is going through and indicating which items are going to be sorted into which chests, and I think we're just gonna do that based on what we have. I don't know if we'll make it to about halfway in terms of filling up each of the chests. I don't know for sure. It depends on how many items we have. I mean, we do have space for 96 unique items. We may have to have 2 areas for certain things, like maybe we'll have 2 for cobblestone, just because we usually have a lot of cobblestone. Dirt maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I mean, 96 items, that's quite a few items. I don't even know if I could name 96 items off the top of my head, honestly. But we're definitely gonna have slime, we're gonna have cobblestone, we're gonna have redstone, all the mined resources, diamonds, emeralds, everything that we can think of, we're gonna throw into this storage system. But anyway, it's gonna take me quite a bit to lay down all the redstone that we need for this, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. This has become one of the longest projects I have done in this series so far. So we got all of the hoppers in, I got all the platforms for the redstone in, all the repeaters, all the torches, and now we're placing in the comparators and the redstone. This has been quite the journey. I don't even know how many hours I've spent on this. It's probably a good 5 or so. It's a pretty big project, and this side is actually the first side that we're gonna get done completely. This should be all of the redstone in place to have all of the sorting work for this this side right here. And is it raining? Of course it's raining as soon as I start recording. Anyway, so that is done for the sorting. Sorry about the rain. I'm gonna start placing down the comparators on this side. But in terms of what else has to be done, the only thing we have to do after we finish putting in all of the redstone is, of course, the water streams that we're going to be putting in place. I think I mentioned that we're going to have hoppers, but that's actually not going to work simply because there's only a 1 block gap between this hopper and this hopper. So if we put a hopper line in between, that's not going to work because then items will drop from this hopper down into the line and the whole system will just break. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have water streams flowing over these hoppers here, which are going to be the locked hoppers with the items that are getting sorted. And we'll also need some ice as well to ensure that those water streams work seamlessly. And that should be about it. Then we're going to have, final thing actually, we're going to have magma blocks, or I'm sorry, soul sand, not magma blocks, those pole items down, but we're going to need soul sand to create item elevators that will elevate the items starting from the bottom and shoot them up to each level. And then finally, if they get all the way to the top and don't get sorted, which might not end up happening depending on how many items we have in the system, which is there's going to be quite a few, up to 96. If they don't quite make it, then we will have a way of dropping them back down and put them into a random chest. Random sounds. But yeah, that is about it. So I'm going to go finish up this redstone and we'll see about creating those water streams. I did mention ice. Yes, we are going to need ice. I did find an ice biome a while ago, so we're going to have to make a trip out there. I believe we're going to need packed ice. So I'll be making a trip out there with my Silk Touch pick at some point to get all the ice that we need. But once again, we're going to go ahead and finish up the redstone.
All of the redstone is done for the build, and this thing is looking crazy cool. There's been a couple other things that I've done so far. I started putting in some of the item frames and throwing in some random items just to make sure that the sorting system works and actually works really cool. So in between each of the layers also, I put in these stairs kind of in this pattern, which I think gives it a little bit more character. I didn't want to do anything crazy, and it's kind of hard to do anything fancy here because I need to make sure I can open these chests, so I need to have transparent blocks above these ones. So this is what I ended up with, and I believe what we're going to do is we're going to have slab floors, which are going to go along the top right here, along this stair on each of the levels so that we can get in, then we'll have ladders and stuff to get in between each of the levels. It actually looks like I missed a couple stairs right there. So we'll have to go up there and fix that. But anyway, here's all the redstone. I used cobblestone slabs actually as the placeholder blocks because I don't plan on putting any cobblestone slabs into this system. That's the idea. Because they're a craftable block, and I'm going to try to stay away from putting craftable blocks into the system. But it depends. I mean, we have tons of storage space, so, you know, we can, if it's something that we craft a lot, we can put it in the system like torches or redstone torches or whatever. But anyway, over here, we have the start of the water stream that's going to be putting the items into the system. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to have this chest right here is going to drop items into this dropper over here, and we have a dropper circuit. So anything that goes into this dropper will be shot out and will go into the water streams and off into the system. So right now we have ice, we have cobblestone, we have dirt. I don't know why there's 40 ice there. I don't know how that ended up happening. 41 dirt, and the birch planks right there, and then the rest of them are empty. So essentially we could just feed items into the system and they will eventually find an open hopper. Although I have found that that can get a little wonky, so to start off, I'll probably be putting the items in manually just to kind of placehold for any other future items that may come in to ensure that we don't have anything screwy going on with the system, of course. So the last little bit that we need to do, oh yeah, I mentioned that I had to get ice for this build, and I did go out and get a bunch of ice, obviously. I think you guys saw that already. I went out to that ice biome and collected a bunch of ice up so that we can use it for the water streams. So the last little thing to do, like I said, is to just run the water stream around the first layer, create an item elevator, essentially over here. Right there is going to be the item elevator that's going to shoot the items up to the second level, and then the water streams are going to go around that way. Then we're going to have an elevator there, shoot it up to the third level, and then an elevator there, shoot it up to the fourth and final level. So the items that don't make it through the system will then fall down, and we'll have some hoppers here to catch the items, and they'll go into this chest. This will be the return chest, this will be the input chest, and I'll label them so that I don't forget. But anyway, yeah, this has been a very long process, and I'm hoping I can at least get the water streams done on camera so that we can have this thing functional.
It has been many hours since I came to you last, but we are finally done with the entire system as far as I know. So let me give you the final tour. Alrighty, right here we have the input chest where we will stick items into, which will then get thrown into the system. And here, if for some reason the items make it all the way through the system and don't make it in any chest, they will drop back down and end up in this chest right here. Looks like I had a random piece of dirt in there. So that is the input and the return. And as for the rest of it, it's mainly just a system of water streams. We make use of the ice to make sure that the items keep moving. We have the dropper circuit over here, which is putting the items into the system. And essentially, we have the water streams going through each level. It goes around, starting over here, around, down through that first level, comes over here. And then we have our first item elevator, which I can probably show you a little bit here. Probably can't really see into it that well. But the first item elevator, which goes, the items shoot into it, it shoots the items up to this level, and then they go around, all the way around this level through the water streams. And that is essentially the entire system all the way up to the top. It's just finally we get up to the top over there. There is just a drop shoot, shoop, which drops the item down into this hopper over here, and then into our return chest. Here's the hopper, by the way, that goes right into the return chest. So the last thing that we're going to do is we're simply just going to build up some birch wood walls around this, and then we're going to start throwing our items into the system, and it should work like a charm. But anyway, that is actually all the time I have for this episode. If you guys liked it, please don't hesitate to hit that thumbs up. Tune in for the next live stream where we're actually going to start work on construction of the inside of the mega base. But thank you so much for watching. If you guys are looking forward to future videos, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure to check out this month's parody, which has been posted a couple days ago. And of course, hit the bell for notifications if you guys are extremely interested, and hit that subscribe button like I said. But I'm going to remind you guys once again, because I am trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the month. That is my goal. If you guys enjoy, please, and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Consider it. You'll make me a happy man. All right, I'll see you guys again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Laying in the place to be, yeah.